Hey everybody, Vice here. Welcome back to Let's Play King's Quest 6. Let's continue on. Last time we were able to get some kind of communication with Cassima, and then we got a red hairband thing and some of her black hair that was accidentally left on it. And we got a few more and we ended up getting a few more things as well, and more plot happened, of course. This time, we are actually going to now go to
the magic map.
Did she keep the ring? I think.
This.
Yeah, she kept the ring because it's not there. I did load. Yeah, I loaded the right file. Okay. Guess I'm just remembering wrong for some reason. Anyway.
Alexander remembers what the pawn shop owners said about only being able to use the map out in the open and within sight of the sea. He correctly guesses that the map will not work here.
So yeah, that's what happens if you try to use the map on any other screen. That happens. Come on, game. There you go. Yeah, so now we're right here. Now it will work.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
And we're gonna go... Island of Wonder. Ouch. Now before I move... Okay, I think I got everything.
Alexander hears someone coming.
And... gnomes.
5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies. Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
So yeah, you gotta trick basically the 5 senses in order to get by these gnomes. And each of them do make a different dialogue and kind of a joke right before they decide to kill you after you fail. But I'm not going to show all of that off, but I do want to see what happens if I use...
Alexander's carrying a little ink bottle. It appears to be empty.
That's invisible. That's actually invisible ink. I wonder what happens if I use it now.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
My nose cannot be tricked that way. The smell of man still rules the day. A man.
Okay, so they make it...
Into the waiting sea he goes.
Yeah, and then that dialogue changes at the end of each one after you fail. I'm not going to show every single one of those off. And apparently, if you use the ink too early, the ink just gets removed immediately.
Toss Alexander too far out into the sea for him to get his footing. The currents drag him under.
And of course, at the very end, if you fail every one of them, they give the same death message here, though. Tickets. Oh. Next.
Guess those gnomes couldn't reach a consensus.
Okay. Let's deal with these 5 gnomes.
5 fierce guards of the isle.
Yeah, we know.
Old Tom Troll, smell your smell. Do that which you do so well.
colors of flame burst from the center of the incredibly stinky flower and drip onto its petals. The flower's appearance is as flamboyant as its smell. Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
Tom Trow I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore. A flower 'tis all, and nothing more. Listen, hark you, Grovelor, do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more.
Alexander winds the tin nightingale
I want-
and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
Notice a problem with this. Notice the problem?
A nose is not a way to spy. My ears cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all there be.
It lied.
No man is near, and so say me.
So you can clearly hear Alexander wind up the nightingale so it makes a noise, but apparently he didn't hear that. He only heard the bird of the fake nightingale once it started playing, which is funny because if you try to bring the flute here and you use it, he makes a note that the flute is calm, there's nothing wrong about it, but then he says, man that plays it, there's the sting. So he clearly knows that a man would play a flute, but apparently that winding up noise he doesn't hear. It's weird oversight.
Taste, Grump, that we might know whether friend or whether foe.
Mint.
Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with the gigantic mouth.
More like just drops the mint in his tongue.
Grump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet.
Trilly dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man?
Now this one, I think it's a
Alexander
case
holds
with the
rabbit
gnome
foot
not
out
even
to the
trying.
gnome with the huge hands.
I think this is a case of the gnome not even trying.
Be all you mad? What aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet.
Yeah, you didn't bother checking the rest of the rabbit. So-called rabbit.
Vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter.
So why don't you just have him go first? Anyway, now we use the ink.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this. Let's now away.
I don't know why they let him make him go last.
Alexander did it. He's fooled the guards.
Guards. Even though those were gnomes, or guard gnomes. Something like that. Anyway. We're gonna go... Yeah, we're gonna... Actually, no, not... Yeah, since we now fooled the gnomes, we're going to leave here immediately.
Alexander pulls out...
Pulls out the magic map. We're gonna go back to the Island of the
Alexander
Crown.
feels a strange pulling sensation.
Because now we're done with that, we can now trade the Nightingale for something else.
Your candy dish is empty.
I am sorry, sir, but I have no more mints. Somebody has eaten them all.
Well, get some more then.
I fear that is impossible. Without the ferry, I can no longer get imports from the other islands, and we do not grow mint extract on the Isle of the Crown.
Oh, I hate not getting what I want.
It didn't make the door closing sound yet, game. There you go.
If Alexander wants anything from the pawn shop, the mint dish is empty.
Clearly, because he ate all the mints, and now he's complaining about not having any more mints. Let's see.
Would you mind if I traded this in?
Of course, Prince Alex. Please, choose something in exchange for the items on the counter.
Alexander looked.
Now we're going to need...
I'll take the flute.
Now we'll take the flute.
The flute? Very good, Prince Alex. May its music always be sweet. Feel free to trade it back at any time.
Thank you.
Alexander.
Okay, now that I got the flute, we're going to go this way first, actually.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize these books had an owner. I'm in need of a rare book.
No owner? All books have owners, my good man. And this book owner, Bookworm to you, wouldn't part with one of his books for anything.
Isn't there something I can do for you to pay for the book?
Let's see. Do you have an itinerant clause?
No. No clauses at all, I'm afraid.
As an exception, you always should.
I don't get it.
Don't mind oxymoron and diphthong. They're fairly limited grammatical principles, you know. Let's see. A marsh pig that does Texas?
What?
No. I'm afraid not.
A dangling participle?
I'm fresh out.
A purple fiddle whacker?
No, I don't think so. Sorry.
An idiosyncrasy, perhaps?
Afraid not.
Ha! Then what good are you?
The tail end of this isle. Little bees buzz around the books as though the pages were laden with the sweetest pollen. Maybe they're spelling bees.
And that is exactly what they are, spelling bees. The bad jokes about reading books, grammar, blah blah blah. Anyway, this... spider web.
Wow. Hiya, gorgeous. Oh, what a luscious-looking hunk of flesh you are.
Thank you, I guess. Who are you?
How charming of you to pretend not to know. I'm Black Widow, of course. The femme fatale of all femme fatales. Know what I mean? You know, I was just thinking it was time I found my 50th, another husband. It would be quite a horror, I mean, an honor to have me as a bride. Just look at my beautiful weaving. It's so light, so delicate. You'll never want to leave my little nest.
It is a lovely web, but my heart is elsewhere, I'm afraid.
Oh, drat! I mean, the loss is yours. I'm sure you'll change your mind once you consider the advantages.
What?
Alexander reaches out to grab the scrap of parchment.
After my goods, are you? What a greedy little man you are.
Alexander feels the sharp prick of the Black Widow's teeth. Then, a strange burning sensation.
That's what you get for preferring that old scrap of paper to me.
Okay. Tickets. Oh. Next.
Why do you think they call her a widow?
Okay, first I gotta look again. I don't want to know what advantages you were referring to, especially... I don't want to know. Anyway.
Hey, don't touch that thread!
Alexander snatches the scrap of parchment, curious to see what's written on it. The wind blows the scrap of paper from Alexander's hand, but he remembers what it said well enough.
That's a hint towards something way later in the game. Okay, now we dealt with all the spelling bee and that widow.
A large tree stretches knotted limbs out over the swamp. Part of the tree's trunk is shaped like the face of a dog. Why, it must be a dogwood tree.
Of course.
Alexander takes a bottle of milk from the milkweed bush. Apparently, the dogwood tree doesn't like Alexander standing that close.
But obviously its bark is worse than its bite.
The glass bottle is full of milk. How strange for a plant to produce not only milk, but a container to go with it. The fallen log has a good-sized knot or bump. A stick is stuck in the middle of the swamp.
Okay.
Is that lettuce growing in the garden? It looks a little chilled. Why, it must be iceberg lettuce. Vines of sweet ripening tomatoes climb up little wooden posts. Unless Alexander is mistaken, those plants must be baby's tears. A colorful array of snapdragons stand guard to one side of the path. The wallflowers look terribly shy. There appears to be a hole in the garden wall. Wow, it really is a hole in the wall. Zounds, those wallflowers sure are shy, and the snapdragons are awfully protective of them. Alexander can't even get close to the wallflowers without causing quite a stir.
Hey, what do you think you're doing there? Get your hands off me! Hey!
Alexander picks up Rotten Tomato and puts him away. One never knows when one will need a rotten tomato.
Yep, that's a thing.
Clinging vines climb the garden wall.
Okay, we're going to save here. No, we're not gonna save it with that name. Actually, yes, we are. Garden of Plants and Hole in the Wall. Hole in the Wall. There we go.
Alexander decides to examine the vines on the wall more closely.
Come closer! We like you!
I, appreciate your enthusiasm. But I'm really not interested.
Don't leave us! We like you!
Well then.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
Just want to be loved by you.
Okay, let's get that hole in the wall there. With the flute.
May I have this dance?
Oh, my!
Alexander stops playing the flute, but the wallflowers and snapdragons continue to dance, caught up in the music and oblivious to everything around them. While
Gotcha.
the wallflowers dance, Alexander snatches the hole in the wall.
Which is funny, because it would now be a hole in your pocket, but anyway. Next thing here. What am I gonna name this? Sure. Ice Ice Baby, yeah, let's go with that, I guess. Okay, now quickly.
Alexander picks a head of iceberg lettuce.
Ye gads! Is that cold?
Okay, hopefully I can do this fast enough.